Hey guys, how you doing? Lynn Buckway with the Buckway Group at Exit Realty Success, where we provide you with the ultimate home experience. Today we are here with Alex with Premier Credit Consulting, and you may recognize him from a video we've done already. Check out the other video. We'll put a link here. It'll also be down at the bottom, and you can check out, basically it's a highlight of his company, why they do what they do, why they're awesome at it, and some other helpful tips. But today, Alex being the president of the company, we're going to go through kind of a history of credit, and it's a very interesting story, so stay tuned. So yeah, Alex, why don't you give us that history and why that's interesting.
It's kind of hard to build an interesting segue into the history of credit scores, so you did a really good job with that. That was tough.
There, yeah.
That is hard. In an effort not to put people to sleep when we're talking about the history of the credit bureaus or credit scoring, we're really just going to try to make it simple and very straightforward. One of the biggest things that people get confused on when it comes to just their credit report in general is that the credit bureaus, the people who track all of the information, that pretty much your financial big brother, these companies are not in any way associated with the government. You have what are called government-sponsored enterprises, which are like Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, companies that are partially owned by the government. The credit bureaus are not those types of entities. And so these are private, for-profit, multi-billion-dollar companies who, in essence, get paid for selling your information. That's kind of their end game. And so to really simplify the history of the credit bureaus, you need to understand that the credit bureau's primary responsibility is to collect as much information on you as a consumer, and then to turn around and sell that information to third parties who are interested in learning more about you. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, a lot of loan officers, a lot of banks, they champion this because there is a lot of confusion. If you wanted to buy a house, right, and I was a mortgage lender, and then we didn't have some type of established credit system, it would be very frustrating for me to be able to gauge your risk, right? That would be really difficult.
Yeah.
However, on the flip side, oftentimes the credit bureaus go too deep, right? So before the Fair Credit Reporting Act of 1970, if I was trying to gauge your risk, I had too much information. I was able to use your sexual orientation or your hygiene or your drinking habits. All of those things negatively impacted your credit rating.
Wow.
And before 1970, you didn't have the right to see what was on your credit report. So the complication here is how do you navigate having a healthy credit profile, but yet still understanding how the system works? And so, for us, one of the big things that we advocate for is making sure that you're in the know about what the system actually is, right? Now, if I were to tell you that, let's say, in order for the credit bureaus to collect all this information, there was somebody out in the parking lot right now taking notes on the decisions that you're making, you'd think I was crazy, right?
Oh, yeah.
But that's how this whole system started. In the late 1800s, you had retailers who were looking to franchise their businesses, okay? Well, back then there wasn't an established credit rating system. And so they would pay companies to go about really tracking all of your decisions by just taking notes. It was a modern espionage tactic to just kind of spy on you. And they knew everything. They knew your wife's name, your kids' names, they knew everything about you. And over the course of, I'd probably say 50 to 60 years, these small credit bureaus would expand and then merge together. And that's how you really got to a point where you had the three big national credit bureaus, who are now international credit bureaus, right? Mm-hmm. TransUnion tracks over 850 million consumers. And that's why you also have smaller regional credit bureaus that track other information like medical payment history, gambling, all of those things. All of that information is tracked by credit bureaus. So the history here is it's unique because there's espionage, there's privacy violations, there's a lot of confusion, but at the end of the day, this process of following people around and writing down what decisions they were making has grown and developed into one of the most complex data collection processes ever developed. And what's happening is that data is becoming more and more valuable, right?
Yeah.
So now You look at a lot of the privacy problems that we're having as consumers. If you were, for example, I don't know if this happens to you very often, but you'll be talking about something and it shows up on an ad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, on your phone.
That information is going somewhere, right? And the evolution of big data is really pushing the rights of privacy, right?
Yes.
And that's why what you're going to see in the future is how much information can the credit bureaus track? Or these future credit bureaus like Facebook, right? Who collect all this information.
Yes.
How much can they track? And how much of it can be limited because it's your private information, right? So that's just it's kind of a back and forth history and kind of some unique information about the credit bureaus. But the most important thing for you to understand is that when it comes to the credit bureaus and the history of the credit bureaus, their number one job is to collect as much information on you as possible, right?
Yeah.
And that information that they're collecting is what dictates your risk as a consumer. So if that information is inaccurate, unverifiable, misleading, or outdated, it's your right as a consumer to ensure the accuracy of that information. So don't fall victim to misinformation on your credit profile because it's only going to have further negative impacts in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of information.
Yeah, sorry.
Holy cow, big history.
Hopefully nobody fell
But,
asleep.
Yeah, you guys look over your shoulders now because somebody's watching you for your credit score. So anyway, well, fantastic. Well, thanks so much. That's a great history. I don't know. I find it super interesting, especially the way that it began
Right.
back in the day. So hopefully that was beneficial to you guys as well. If you need any help with your credit or want to get started, whether you're looking for a home or not, give me a call if you're looking for a home first. I'll get you in touch with these guys. If not, go straight to them. They'll help you get started. Check out our other video. And again, I just want to say, Alex, thanks so much for your time.
Yeah.
This is Lynn Buckway with the Buckway Group signing off with the ultimate home experience. Make sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our page so you don't miss out on future videos like this.